It's a point of pride at Justice to apply the law without the president's political self-interests tainting its actions or dictating how it uses its authorities. But President Trump did find one candidate at Justice who seemed willing to do anything to help him stay in power. Let's hear what President Trump's own lawyer, Eric Hirschman, had to say about Jeff Clark's plan to overturn the election. I'd like to advise viewers this video contains some strong language.
And when he finished discussing what he planned on doing, I said, good fucking, excuse me, sorry, a-hole. Congratulations, you just admitted a first step or act you take as Attorney General would be committing a felony and violating Rule 6C. You're clearly the right candidate for this job.
That's so good. That's so good.
What the fuck?
Trump needed a loyalist, man, a key to power.
That's great. Trump's senior lawyer is like, listen, you know, your first act as Attorney General is to commit a felony. Good job. I'm curious. He doesn't say what that's in reference to. Is that
it's got to be sending the letter. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious if it's in reference to sending the letter or if it's in reference to the fake slate of electors.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This could be either one of those things. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
I mean, sending out that letter is fraud, basically, isn't it? I mean, if they're sending out a letter with false statements in it. I mean,
if they're sending a letter that says the Department of Justice has significant concerns. I guess obviously the implication is that they found fraud, that they didn't, and you know, that's not good.
Who's Jeff Clark? An environmental lawyer with no experience relevant to leading the entire Department of Justice.
That's another thing. An environmental lawyer? What's going on? Like, how's he not a Democrat? What's happening here?
He was, I guess, he should have been an anti-environmental lawyer. Is that what
he's saying? An environmental lawyer at Justice? Okay. I guess they have to deal with environmental issues, right?
Well,
you're going deep into the bench if you're going down to the environmental lawyer, right? You can't even find a criminal attorney.
Well, okay. He was part of environmental. He was part of the team representing BP during the oil spill.
Oh my God, no. For real? Holy shit. Oh, so he's that kind of environmental lawyer. Yeah.
That's why I said you could call him an anti-environmental lawyer.
So, you know, when your company accidentally dumps billions of gallons of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico, who do you call? Jeffrey Clark. We'll make it right. We'll fix it. We'll fix this. No wonder he's the guy that's willing to do this.
Yes.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. I've been fucking over the environment for my entire career.
He's the guy willing to clean up oil spills. Okay. Obviously, this is a big oil spill.
This is a big oil spill. Yes. Holy shit. He's like, yeah, you need an endangered species out of the way. I'm here. I'm your man.
What was his only qualification? That he would do whatever the president wanted him to do.
I was wondering what that guy looked like because I listened to this. I didn't see his picture, but
that's pretty doofy. But I'm sure they got like the worst picture they could find.
I mean, that's probably the standard picture they pulled,
including overthrowing a free and a fair democratic election. President Trump's campaign to bend the Justice Department to his political will culminated in a showdown on January 3rd. Today, we will take you inside that early evening Oval Office meeting where top Justice Department officials met with the president. At stake, the leadership and integrity of the Department of Justice.
Oh, I didn't see this graphic.
You like this state-of-the-art 3D graphic?
So they sat everyone in front of Donald Trump's desk. They got Jeffrey Clark and Jeffrey Rosen. So they've got somebody seated between them because obviously I think they were going to come to blows. If you listen to Jeffrey Rosen's testimony, it's pretty fiery. So yeah.
The meeting took about another 2.5 hours from the time I entered. it was entirely focused on whether there should be a DOJ leadership change. I was sitting directly in front of the president. Jeff Rosen was to my right. Jeff Clark was to my left. He looked at me.
So 2.5 hours. That's a long fucking meeting.
For the president of the United States, yeah, 2.5 hours on
Sitting in front of the president of the United States for 2.5 hours, where he browbeats you
all just about whether Clark should be the head of the DOJ
into submission.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, but God, what I would give to hear that 2.5 hour meeting.
I know.
Is it recorded for the National Archives?
No,
And it's just
no,
like,
no. Of course not.
it's a private meeting.
Yeah. Unless Trump turned out to be Richard Nixon and secretly taped everything.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
No.
Underscored. Well, the one thing we know is you're not going to do anything. You don't even agree that the concerns that are being presented are valid.
It's a little.
And here's someone who has a different view. So why shouldn't I do that? That's how the discussion then proceeded.
Jeff Clark was.
Yeah, so that's literally Trump saying you don't believe that there are, my view on the election being fraudulent, so why should I not fire you?
Right, yeah.
It's not what you want here.
No appeal to the evidence. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm sure that came up in that 2-hour fucking conversation. But
And this is Trump's senior attorney here, this guy.
yeah.
I like the fact that he has a baseball bat that says justice on it.
Justice,
That's
right?
pretty fucking based right there. Look at that.
I feel like that sends mixed messages.
I feel like that sends the perfect message.
Really?
I mean, I feel like I want a bat that says justice.
I want like the Judge Dredd gun on my wall and just says justice on the gun.
What's up with are those helmets too? He's got some weird.
I don't know what that is. It's a very
Helmet.
weird
Yeah.
office, but
I like it. Is that a
Big
panda bear?
yeah, I don't know.
That big panda bear is going to grab that bat and watch out.
Was proposing that Jeff Rosen be replaced by Jeff Clark. And I thought the proposal was asinine.
What was Clark?
He's just so okay. So that's one of Trump's senior advisors in the last
Yes.
days of the election. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Or the last days of the administration.
Right.
The election's way over. So
Yeah.
Purported bases for why it was in the president's interest for him to step in. What would he do? How would things change, according to Mr. Clark in the meeting?
He repeatedly said to the president that if he was put in the seat, he would conduct real investigations that would, in his view, uncover widespread fraud. He would send out the letter that he had drafted, and that this was a last opportunity to sort of set things straight with this defective election, and that he could do it, and he had the intelligence and the will and the desire to pursue these matters in the way that the president thought most appropriate.
So he's basically selling himself hard to the president, saying,
Right.
I'm going to get it done.
Well, and I think Rosen, I think it's Rosen or whoever, I forget the guy's name, who was the deputy before Clark,
Right.
said the idea that he could do some sort of national investigation in 17 days that would uncover widespread fraud when the Justice Department wasn't able to before then is just like this total fucking fairy
Right.
tale.
The fact that they have all of the resources at their disposal, and not only that, this is why people are going to quit, because they're like, we already did this investigation. What the fuck?
Right.
You're asking us to
Right.
go back and find.
Come up with a better answer.
Yeah. Whoa,
In finger quotes.
I'm not going to be happy at work if they tell me to go out and fucking lie. I'm going to be
Right.
very pissed off about that. Especially if I have a bat on my wall that says justice. I'm going to be like, I'm going to think truth, justice in the American way, right?
Right,
That's what I'm
right.
going to think.
And he was making a pitch, and every time he'd get clobbered over the head, he would like say like, like a call to order, the president's your decision. You get the chance to make this decision, and you've heard everybody, and you can make your determination. And then we jump back in and really clobber him.
I made the
So everyone in the meeting is beating up on this Rosen character, and he's just sucking up to Trump.
On Clark. On
Oh
Clark.
yeah, on Clark. Everyone in the meeting is beating up on Clark, and he's just sucking up to Trump. Basically, give me my shot. I could be a contender.
Give me my shot.
I know.
point that Jeff Clark is not even competent to serve as the Attorney General. He's never been a criminal attorney. He's never conducted a criminal investigation in his life. He's never been in front of a grand jury, much less a trial jury.
Oof.
And he kind of retorted by saying, well, I've done a lot of very complicated appeals and civil litigation, environmental litigation, and things like that. And I said, that's right, you're an environmental lawyer. How about you go back to your office and we'll call you when there's an oil spill. And
oh my God, punched him in the face.
See, now you know why he said oil spill, because he knew he was talking about the BP thing.
He was. He
Yeah.
definitely was. Why don't you go back to your office and we'll call you when there's an oil spill.
Oh my God.
That's so fucking based.
God. It's gotta see, this gotta be like you're right.
This is movie material. This is definitely movie
A
material.
2-hour meeting where like Clark's just getting like annihilated by all these people, and they're all sitting in a semicircle in front of Trump.
Yeah, and Trump is just, he's sitting there. He's going, God, I want to just appoint this guy, but what the fuck? Everyone is against me here. Everyone's going to hate my guts if I do it. It's so...
I know.
But this meeting could have been totally different. All these guys could have been like, oh yeah, this guy will do it. Like, he's the fucking patsy.
Yeah, imagine.
Make him do it.
But see, that's why, and it's interesting because, this really speaks to, I guess, the strengths of our institutions, because you have everyone in that room was basically appointed or hired by Donald Trump.
Yes.
And they're all like, this is a terrible fucking idea.
Yes.
They're not just yes men. They're like, this is like, what the fuck?
These are patriots right here.
Yeah.
Pat Cipollone weighed in at one point, I remember saying, that letter that this guy wants to send, that letter is a murder-suicide pact. It's going to damage everyone who touches it. And we should have nothing to do with that letter. I don't ever want to see that letter again. And so we went along those lines.
I thought Jeff's proposal, Clark's proposal, was nuts. I mean, this guy said at a certain point, listen, the best I can tell is the only thing you know about environmental and elections challenges is they both start with E. And based on your answer tonight, I'm not even certain you know that.
The president said, suppose I do this. Suppose I replace him, Jeff Rosen, with him, Jeff Clark. What do you do?
Well, we know these men before.
So he's asking him straight out. He's like, how does this play out? I'm thinking of making this play here.
Yeah.
What happens? How does this play out? What do? Do you run straight to CNN? What happens here?
Well, he's asking him, are you going to quit? And he says yes later. He says, I'm 100% quit if you do this.
Yeah.
But, and also with Trump's lawyer, who was just there, I mean, he's probably really nervous too, because if Trump went through with this, he's Trump's lawyer. He's worried that if this shakes out, if Trump puts Clark the head of the Attorney General and he sends this letter, which is fraudulent, and he knows it's fraudulent, and Trump doesn't retain being president, then they could throw Trump in jail for this. And that's why they talk about that letter being a murder-suicide pact. They're thinking like Trump's lawyer is probably thinking this letter will get Trump in jail if this comes to pass.